All right, how's it going? I hope that my voice is good and that the microphone is sounding okay. First time streaming, first time doing live things like the live kind of news review, some content like this, and probably I don't know if I set up the audio perfectly, but first time and learn along the way if the content is good. I'm a software engineer. I love coding. Been doing it on all the stacks. A lot of web development recently because there's a lot of demand. And let's go through the. Let's cut it short. It's not about me. It's about news. What are the latest? What's in the. I picked Hacker News slash .NET Product Hunt, but there can be many more. I don't know. Just wanted to start from these kind of main ones and comment on them. Let's give a technical review. If you hear noise, it's my dog Susie. Yeah, man. What the heck? He's so funny. Alright, so let's get started. Let me open the browser. Hacker News. Let's see the newest. Alright, sleep lessons for founders and CEOs. What is this? Sleep lessons for founders and CEOs. What do they mean by sleep lessons? Okay, so capital rich environment. Anything seems possible. Like I say, undervaluation of sleep. Make missed opportunity. I was given a rude awakening by a book. Okay, so this guy wrote a book that awakened this guy about what? About sleep? Is this page trying to sell me a book? Let's see. Listing my biggest sleep mistakes to other founders. Okay. I'll sleep when I'm exited. Right. So this guy, first I thought it was a dead time that needed to be minimized. I mean, not minimized, but it's kind of time that you need to kind of recharge, just like you plug your phone into the wall, right? Then I began to think of it as a fixed cost for being awake. Both of these are wrong, scientifically. I still occasionally meet people who are trying polyphasic schedules. Oh yeah, those are crazy. To minimize sleep time. I don't like this minimizing thing. That's nothing you can minimize. It's not something you can minimize. Yeah, very dumb idea, of course. You cannot cheat the requirements. The battery needs to be recharged. Okay, let's see. Red eye flights and misplaced financial prudence. Frequent red eyes. Okay. Yeah, flying, I guess. If you fly a lot, you get two different time zones. Not taking sleep as a fiduciary responsibility. Oh, I hope this microphone doesn't pick up because this dog is like a pig, like loud as a pig. It's so funny. I'll show it to you. No, now I don't wanna wake her up, poor thing. She needs to sleep. Only okay, not taking sleep. Okay, whatever. What? Categorical RAM is really important for cognitive functionality. Yes, absolutely. Mental resilience. Suggest executive coaching, but not sleep reviews. Okay. Oh, coffee. I want ability to not be affected by caffeine. Yeah, that's true. Oh, every dinner ended with an espresso. Every dinner. 8 hours, more than 8 hours, I think. Even 12 to 14. 12. Wow, reducing the sleep cycles by 30%. Wow, that compounds a lot. Do this for long enough and will shorten your lifespan. Aye. Okay, so this guy, yeah, sleep is important, and for CEOs, because CEOs need to make decisions. So I can make these articles. Sleep is important for any profession, for doctors, for everything. I mean, okay, I guess good. We came, we saw, we used a lot of computing time. Why this sounds fine. We saw, we used a lot of computer time. Turns out it's really hard to make a machine learning model to evaluate headlines. Yeah, but headlines, come on, how can you predict human humor? He warned that I need to be careful about properly setting my expectation if this was a real business problem. Well, the best thing he could do was suggest reframing the problem for good or bad headline. Good or bad headline? I think this approach need to be niched down. So let me skim through. The statement was the most family-friendly and concise way of framing the outcome of my 4-week part-time crash course in machine learning. Which statement? The he chose a deceptively hard problem. From good advice to something else concrete. But if a machine isn't necessarily learning, at least I am. The gang tries some machine learning. So I was given pairs of headlines used for Ars article. Okay. Then with SageMaker you have to create a machine learning algorithm. Okay, so you basically took a bunch of headlines, fed them into a machine learning model. Most of the pieces, my effort to reproduce on SageMaker fall flat. Let's see if it's too technical as an article. We'll skip it because I don't want to bore the audience. I want to keep it, for as much techies as possible. I don't want to go too much into rabbit holes. Drink some water. My very light take on this, on headlines and machine learning, is that you cannot predict what a human will find funny or catchy or not, because what I find funny today might be not funny tomorrow due to some new society norms or something. For example, like the politically correct thing, of course, is a silly example, but it's still an example that shows how something that was a good headline before cannot be a good headline now, and especially now we are more fragmented into different groups. So what is funny for me is way different than what another guy my age, but that does something that has completely different interests and hobbies, perceives of, because now we tend to be more in our own communities because we can choose the content we consume, etc., etc. If it makes sense. Well, a long time ago, everybody kind of was watching the same things, the same TV shows or stuff like that. Now we're more fragmented. Deployment death spiral. On top of that, the clock was ticking. You took my version on top of running test the real data. Alright, so this guy is basically struggling doing this. See if there's a nice conclusion. That's some good Python code. Okay. Okay, so this guy illustrates his struggle with implementing such a model, such a project, which I agree 100%. The guy was absolutely brave for even trying. ISO-Grid Foundation. What is this? Foundation of a better network. Crowd switch proof of concept validated. Okay, what's a crowd switch? I'm pleased to announce the ISO switch 20182 validates the hardware design. The code runs at full speed on real hardware. Let's see. 5 initial prototype. This is cool. This is very niche hardware stuff. Let's figure out what it's an ISO switch. Is it something about networking? Yeah, network. ISO grid. Nice. I like GitHub. GitHub is where the facts are, where the code is. I only believe in code. ISO switch is a point-in-time release of the GPLv3 license source code and the hardware design for the crowd switch product. Please do not use the crowd switch name for anything in your network. Okay, let's see. Code is under development. Demonstrate. Okay, cool. It's not ready for use. Using in production. Okay, it's a switch. Oh, there you go. Crowd switch is an open hardware product built using the ISO-Grid protocol. What's ISO-Grid protocol? Oh, there you go. So we're pointing at the same article. When wired together, they form a streaming scalable mesh network. Oh wow. So let's remember that a mesh network is... There you go. A mesh network is a this structure here. So this is partial, but mesh is where each one is connected with each other. And then obviously partially or fully connected means if everybody is connected with each other or if only some, like this example right here. So it's a switch. So it's kind of like a hardware that you can build yourself. They must give you like the things to 3D print, and you have your own, you can create your own mesh networking. Maybe for an internal network, it's pretty cool. Very cool. I like these things. It's really interesting how deep you can go into the protocols, even into networking, Ethernet, and inside Ethernet there's all these different layer 2 things, and it's really fascinating. Really fascinating. So cool to know. ISO-Grid max network 13 around. Huh. Okay, so there's some... Net neutrality was a big topic, so how is this involved with this? Let's see. In the 90s, the internet seemed to be an incredible distributed, I'm reading here, network capable of transforming the world by making it more open and free. After all the progress, we understandably want more of that openness and freedom. Okay, so yeah, internet of the 90s was way more free in good and in bad ways. Also in bad ways. It's not be just nostalgic just because it's cool to be nostalgic. Let's see. Net neutrality. Proponents want widely distributed access to a free and open network, but the opponent want ISPs to have freedom. Okay, I got it. So it's about taking some powers away from the ISPs. And how does this device do that? Because it becomes cheap to create your own. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you still need the permission of the ISP to go to the internet. So I don't get how a custom hardware would. Maybe I'm not seeing. Let me know, guys. Anybody that sees, drop me a comment or. Let me see the stats 1 second. Okay. All good. Back to the browser. Perfect. Let's see. Okay. Current switch open source, working on implementing as we switch. So it's all very specific networking hardware and stuff. Very cool. Alright, let's move on. So we got to learn about a little bit of networking and see what goes on in that area with new hardwares coming up. And the focus I think on like 3D printing yourself and putting it together yourself. Graham Quarton report on current information. Oh, I like this. Let's see. In 2019, we tracked over 1,700 distinct security conferences. How do you keep up? Yeah, that's true. No paywall, free. Download this PDF. You can listen to the audio summary. No, we can't stay here and listen to 21 minutes. So let's see. High resolution. Why not? We have fast internet. Zoom. Look at that. Alright, let's go through this. It's pretty long, so we'll skim through it. Oh, it's interactive. Alright, so themes covered in this issue. Page 6. Let's go to page 6. That's introduction. Okay. Themes into the embedded realm. Security research into embedded devices or other low-level system targets has certainly had its ups and downs. From being dismissed as junk hacking. No way. I can't believe that was a thing. Because, guys, the thing about embedded devices is that they have old firmware that are not as strong as a computer or server operating system, so they're pretty easy to either break because of their vendor negligences of failing to update certain cryptography or authentication mechanism, or even a negligence from to implement these embedded devices into a network, or someone leaving like the admin password, which you probably, any of you hearing this will think, oh, of course, but who leaves admin as a user and password? But it happens a lot, and then once you're in, doesn't matter if you use something like this and that, like you need to get in. And so even these negligences are very common in embedded devices. Let's see. Yep. Just cheap IoT endpoints embedded in the computers, mobile devices, and critical infrastructure. A thermostat, a toaster, a coffee machine, a printer. Hackers can also attack an IoT device and then take control of it and then start another attack from that device and then wipe down the whole machine memory after the attack. And then what happens is that investigators kind of go to a dead end, because at the end they end up tracing the IP to this IoT endpoint, and that's all they can find. So obviously, it's a cat and mouse game, so forensics can step in and look at the memory of the device, may find traces of previous, I don't know, but on a very generic level, that's pretty much what's happening. Defensive, hard to evaluate. Did it take the red team longer to move because of the defensive improvements or because they weren't performing good enough? Attackers can be dynamic, adaptive, and creative, so it's difficult to create a realistic threat model. Yeah, I mean, you hire a lot of. Well, it's easier to say than done, but if you hire different consultants and so you have different attack perspectives, you kind of like you cover as much as you can afford in terms of like how much budget you have for cybersecurity. Let's see. Nifty Sunrise, what is that? With so many great talks and paper to choose from, there were a number that we felt should be highlighted, but didn't directly fit into any of the themes. Enjoy reading about everything from attacks on privacy coins. That's pretty cool actually to learn. To user experience studies of reverse engineering tools. Wow. To a good old fashioned exploitation of email servers. It's pretty cool topics. Exploiting differences of opinion. So these are all the themes covered in this issue of the. So every bug score lies on broken assumption. The works highlighted in this section show how broadly these differentials in understanding can impact security. HTTP do downgrades. Okay. Super cool. Into the embedded realm. So, I mean, obviously you can read the whole thing, but let's see like the towards evidence-based trust in hardware. Oh yeah, because hardware has to go through. Oh, okay. The problem with embedded devices, now I remember, was that they maybe all come from some factory somewhere far away, maybe, and they use the same circuit board, like the same CPU, tiny hardware board for most of the things. Even if one is a toaster, one is a vacuum, the other one is an alarm clock. They all, they're all tiny computers inside, So maybe the fact that they all have common. Let's see these pictures. Common things, common hardware pieces, etc. will. Okay, so very cool. Kernel owning with eBPF. I love story. What's eBPF? Ooh, what is that? eBPF is a revolutionary technology with origins in the Linux kernel that can run sandbox programs in an operating system kernel. Okay, so it's a Linux operating system thing. It's like a kernel. And it can run. Okay, no, it origins. That origins from the Linux kernel. So it's a technology that can run sandboxed programs in an operating system kernels. Okay, sandboxed programs. So programs in a sandbox, like isolated security-wise from the rest of the system. It is used to safely and efficiently extend the capabilities of the kernel without requiring to change kernel source code. Okay. Okay. Perfect, I got it. So because the kernel can, and I'm like reading through this to oversee and control the entire system, then it's very advantageous that you place controls, security things, at the kernel level, because that's how you can capture, you know, all the data and have a good control of the situation. You don't want to do it from a underprivileged place. You want to be from the kernel, from the operating system, the main place. And so I guess this allows to add modules to your kernel and functionality without having to go through the complexity of, you know, messing with the operating system code, which operating system code is like vital to your computer. Very cool, guys. There's so much to learn. I mean, look at this, how, you know, how deep you can go into even this protocol and sandbox and understand why, you know, how advantageous this is, what are the trade-offs, and, you know, the more you know, the more you can really make informed decision when you build software or when you build a product. And very cool. We have a collection in kernel aggregation of custom metrics and generation of visibility events. See, so you collect events at the kernel level. Without it facilitates this process of working at the super administrator level, kernel level, I should say. It shouldn't be. Cool. Oh no! And so in this security article, they see how they use that protocol to own and take over the kernel. There's an eBPF exploit. Ay. That's so cool. Internal blue, Frankenstein inspector. So as you can see, this is a report with a bunch of different attacks, and this is very, very cool. So what is this? The remote timing attacks on TPMS. So they basically attacked TPM vendors, and TPMs are trusted platform modules. And trusted platform modules are components that ensure a trusted boot process. Okay. This gets very technical. Very cool. Final to arbitrary code execution. Very cool. Thinkist escapes. So that's the report we just saw. Let's go back. Stacker news. HN for stackers. Ooh. Stackers because of the proof of stake of Ethereum, I guess. Oh, that's funny. There's lightning everywhere. Seems that's the pods with Beers, Bitcoin, and Lightning Wallet. What is that? Okay, so that's a tutorial on stream Satoshis to pods via the Breeze Lightning Wallet. Okay, cool. So this is a hacker news, but for stacker. Still don't get why they're talking about Bitcoin a lot, so I don't know why stacker has to do with Bitcoin. I know that Ethereum. Oh my gosh! Look at this news. Enter the FUD. End the FUD. What is that? The best thing to articles debunking Bitcoin FUD. That's so funny. Wow, guys, this is so funny. Environmental and social impacts of gold. Justice is a Ponzi. It's not. Bitcoin is for criminals. Too volatile. That's fine. Okay, so interesting. Creation of Bitcoin, speculative attack. Oh wow. Yeah, CoinEx is fast. I mean, that happens a lot because the new coins want to obviously market themselves as to get as many. It's all a game of who makes you buy more their coin is that's pretty it. And they'll promise you everything to buy the coin. Is why quantum. Oh yeah, quantum computing. That's so funny. I like this one. Endthefad.com. So okay, so Stacker News must be the hacker news for crypto. Let's see. Let's keep on here. So the flying beast never took off. Who cares? Reasonable person principle. What's a reasonable person principle? Oh, everybody will be reasonable. Everyone expects everybody to be reasonable. No one is special. Do not be offended if someone suggests you're not being reasonable. Reasonable people think about their needs and the needs of others, and adjust their behavior to meet the goals of a common good for the community. That's so funny. Refrain from personal attacks. Oh my god, because they all computer science is competitive. They all like they hate each other. But no, there's no reason to. Like for me, when I was doing computer science, it was a bunch of like buddies that like the same things as you, so you can you can talk about a bunch of things. So let's see, doing constant work to avoid failures. Or probably they think this reasonable person is probably applies also to people. I don't know, whatever. Complete your new view. Let's see, testing, doing constant work to avoid failures. Amazon. Privacy and federated learning at scale. That's a video. An open letter to the media. Interview with the founders of Morning Brew newsletter. From school to 75 million. Yay. How student startup Morning Brew became a center for modern newsletter business. It's a newsletter business. How is it possible? Today, the same email filled with memes, puns, and jokey headlines. Oh, make business use digestible. Isn't that what I'm doing right now with tech news? No, obviously they're doing it better. But I just started. So they expect their growing media business. Okay, so let's see some cool questions. When you founded Morning Brew, students were your target. How was Morning Brew readership changed? Wasn't just for college student, young business professional. Boom. Hell yeah, absolutely. A lot of business professionals living in coastal cities. Good, interesting fact. How did you build up your early subscriber base? In the early days, my co-founder and I would go to clubs, classes, getting people signed up. Oh wow. Let's see. Okay, how do you get a subscriber? Paid acquisition, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. How important are referrals? Okay, got it. Very cool. So basically, that's the formula, guys. You provide useful content that is useful because, either you give it your own personal twist and genuine passion and add something to it, and like it's good, and people will prefer that to maybe the dry news that they see online. I listen to a lot of um, YouTubers, myself, to that like kind of give you in their own style views on things, and it's interesting. I like it. So I get why this business grew so much. Let's see. Let's do like maybe one or two more here, and then we can move to Slashdot. Actually, I need to take out the dog in a little bit. Let's see. China limits online video games to 3 hours a week for young people. Ooh, that sucks. Sorry, guys. Running a modified Lux program from Fuxia. Jackson's format. Toyota restarts driverless vehicle after accident. Personality are you? Mary Biggs test. Learn to build application with F#. What is F#? Oh, .net. .net. Let's see. Oopsie. Pardon the noise. Let's see. F# makes it easy to write succinct, robust, and performant code. Wow. .net F#.
Good morning, good afternoon.
It can be about cloud delivery. And F# is actually excellent for AI, ML, and data science programming as well.
Cool. I'm sure it has these applications, and it's niche. Because every language, there's no better language. I hate when people say this language is better than this one, and that's it. It's better than this one for what reason? Every language, like tools, they have a good use for it. Screwdriver is for something, and the pliers are for something else. Young Chinese gamer invented Beijing's new rules. Of course, that sucks. 3 hours a week? What do you do in 3 hours a week? You can do anything. You cannot. It's not a matter. It's a matter of like also making a young person having fun outside too, so that there's a natural desire for the person to also run, and because it feels good in the end, to I don't know. So I think parents have they also have to make the kid feel bring to something. Oh my god, why am I so much allergy? So it's a little bit of responsibility of the a little bit of responsibility of the parent too, to make sure that it communicates to the child how important it is to how fun is also to play outside and do things outside. Because I was a huge gamer when I was in my youth, but teenage years. But I also loved to play sports. Like, it was fun. I wanted both. You know what I mean? Not just I wasn't just obsessed with one thing. Because the other one was very fun. All right. Let's see. Cool. Let's move to Slashdot. Let's go a quick one. Russian cosmonauts find new cracks in ISS module. Biden launches US digital course to bring young tech talent to government. Very cool. Cybersecurity, very important. Great job. Recruiting 30 people is good, so that is a pretty cool. General Service Administration. Huh. Very cool. Every time a government tries to strengthen the cybersecurity is the responsible thing to do. Huh. Prime Phonic, a service that specializes in streaming the classical genre. Apple just acquired it. Can you believe it? Let's see. Oh no. Hackers steal 29 million from crypto platform Cream Finance. Ay. These hacks are really bad for the cryptocurrency adoption, because obviously now it undermines the trust. It undermines the trust like crazy. PayPal is exploring a stock trading platform for US customers. Huh. Damn, these payment processing, they become huge. They offer all these services and become so corporate. It's interesting. Telegram tops 1 billion download. Congrats. Apple iPhone 13 rumors with satellite connection. What the hell is that? Oh. Global Star. Oh, okay. Has satellite communication. That's cool. Hey, whatever helps surviving in any, especially for people that love the outdoors. Let's see. Arm Genesis IP relaunches as an independent company. Ooh. IP theft. Chinese armor company. Okay, some IP stuff. Intellectual property. Medicare, Medicare. Google App Play Store hit 11 billion. Wow. Let's see. Microsoft is threatening to withhold Windows 11 updates if your CPU is old. I mean, if it's for security, they absolutely have to. Why exposing people to CPU vulnerabilities and unexpected behavior? Because then they're gonna blame you. Let's see. China will forbid minor for gaming more than 3 hours most weeks of the year. Wow. Strictest control yet over entertainment for youths. That's crazy. In the world's largest mobile gaming arena. Guys. Wow. Wow, only from 8 to 9 p.m. on Fridays. Sending a notice, the new rules. That's crazy. What? A peer restriction of 1.5 hours per day. Yeah, it's a major step up. 1 hour per day is decent. Facebook the AOL of 2021. That's interesting. The 90s had a word for being trapped inside a manipulative notion. Wow. Wow, AOL offer people online things they could do, such as chat with other people. Services had only one drawback. People couldn't just do whatever they wanted. They could only pick from a small menu of functions, such as chat. Yeah, AOL. I was thinking I was a tiny kid when AOL was it, or that was my brother's. But his age more, but more the 80s. But ooh, very interesting. Let's see. The series about as it grew and grew, the World Wide Web became an amazing place in contrast to AOL. People were so excited by the World Wide Web, they never wanted to go back to AOL or CompuServe or Prodigy. You know, huh. People got excited about Facebook because it was a place where they could find real people they knew, just like MySpace, but also because it had some features like AOL, like the game Farmville. Huh. Business people were even more excited because Facebook started to generate a lot of advertising revenue. Advertisers liked Facebook because it not only knew who was talking to whom, it also knew a little bit about the hobbies and interests of people. That's true. Advertisers liked that because they could use the information to target their ads like never before. That's true. In Facebook, you can target your ads very precisely to a certain persona. Smart people said that Facebook had what we know as network effects. It became more powerful the more people joined it. Wow. Couple of problems with Facebook. Facebook was a lot like AOL. It limited people by telling them with whom they could communicate. One of the bad things was that the people no longer had control. They had given so much information about themselves to Facebook and its competitors that it was like those companies own people when they were in cyberspace. The services didn't seem to do a great job handling people information either. What's interesting about this article is it even tells you how the story ends. Then one day, someone smart built a new technology that didn't require people to sign away their information. Now people could meet anyone they wanted and talk about whatever they wanted. Not just what Facebook or its competitors said it was okay. Okay. People felt more relaxed too because even though there were ads, people could meet up in cyberspace without every single action they took being used to fuel an advertising machine. People got excited again like the first time they found the web and gave up on AOL. But there our story ends because that chapter has not yet been written. That's crazy. Okay, I like this. I like this take. So let's discuss for 2 seconds. Is Facebook the AOL of 2021? Very, 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 very cool. I mean, if I get what they say, but as long as Facebook has the username and password, email and password login, it still has a pretty easy access to it. The new platform. But again, if the new platform if a new platform comes out and does make people feel that they have more control and more privacy and at least more control of their information, and then on the other side, Facebook is doing has all these rules, etc. Then obviously people would feel more excited about new platforms, and I guess it kind of might be the same thing in real estate when new neighborhoods pop out, and in these new neighborhoods people feel like they can go and be different and act not be different, but like maybe experience some a different level of relaxation because it's more of an artist place or something. But then everybody gets there and eventually becomes a gentrified neighborhood. Maybe that's kind of like a similar comparison we can make with online platforms, and it's pretty interesting. What happens when AI writes a play about AI? SpaceX. Cool. Alright, now I'm gonna actually end the stream We didn't get to do some product hunt. Ooh, multiverse, immersive social. We didn't get to look at some product hunt products, but we will do soon. Please, if you like the video, the stream, support as much as you can with likes, comments, ask me questions, and uh, that's it. Thank you so much. We'll be live soon.